Welcome to Better Business Podcast. My name is Alexei, and today I wanted to talk to you about the importance of reviewing your marketing strategy. Now, I meet a lot of businesses where one strategy is implemented and the company seems to be pushing that strategy for quite a long time. I mean, if that sounds familiar, maybe there's a few things that you may want to have a look at. First of all, has the market changed? Has the customer journey or consumer behavior actually changed? Are there external factors that are affecting your market? If the answer to those questions is maybe or yes, you should potentially look into, redefining your strategy or seeing how you may need to upgrade it. Now, whether you're in a B2B or a B2C environment, I guess your strategy may be tailored specifically to a market or a number of markets. And I think you need to understand the limitations of those markets. I mean, especially if you're in a market where there is a finite number of, customers that you're going after. Let's say if you're in a software environment and you're basically targeting, let's say, Australia as a country, and you've got a finite number of units that you potentially are after, you really need to understand different ways of approaching those. If you're in a small local market, I guess it's just at the mercy of what the competitors are doing, how the market responds to the message, and also timing, as well as obviously offer and delivery. Now, the marketing strategy is something that can be, fairly complicated, and in a lot of businesses, it can be fairly straightforward. Now, it really just comes down to, I guess, your positioning. And this is where a lot of people choose the whole niche avenue in order to really focus on, one area of the business that really does allow them to start really good conversations, where they also get referred to other businesses or other individuals, I should say, as a specialist. So finding a niche in your business, I guess, is one of the approaches that you could take in terms of, considering that as a part of your strategy, or maybe build a whole strategy based on that alone. Another way you could potentially go is to have a look at the seasonal events that are potentially creating opportunities. For example, things like, government grants. If you're in a B2B scenario and your business, matches the criteria of government grant, it is a great opportunity to start that conversation with the customer. Now, it doesn't mean necessarily that you're going to be, converting the customer based on that grant, but at least, use that as the exercise of building know, like, and trust. I think, we've done that in the past quite well. And I think a lot of businesses are quite open to government grants and having a chat about them because they feel it's a win-win for everybody. So, that was a part of the strategy. Now, the strategy itself can be quite complicated in the sense of, do you sort of try to offer something to the prospect, or do you try to sort of qualify them? I mean, what I find works really well across majority of businesses is the whole, qualify, educate, convert type process. If you're able to qualify a customer and engage them in some form of a communication, educate them about your approach or share a framework if you've got one, and then from there, basically pitch to them. So a 2 or a 3-step process, in my opinion, works a lot better, as opposed to just going straight for the kill. Now, like I said, it all really comes down to the type of business that you're in. But if you're selling a high ticket item, or if you're selling something that's essentially, a big decision for a lot of people, taking that multi-step approach is a better way to go. The marketing and, the sales approach really go hand in hand. And a lot of the time people go, "Hey, Alexei, why are you asking me about my sales process where we wanted to engage you in doing some marketing?" And I find that marketing without understanding of sales and vice versa sometimes really creates more problems. Now, marketing is really more about, I guess, focusing on what's working and exploring avenues that either haven't been tapped into based on the mechanics of what's worked, or potentially trying something completely different in line with the whole marketing funnel. And you have to be realistic. I think a lot of the time people go and run a Google Ads campaign and go, "Hey, I want to try, Facebook ads," and expect similar things. Doesn't quite work like that. I mean, it can, but most of the time, Facebook doesn't get you the quality that Google would, and vice versa as well. Once again, depending on the market. I think what's important for sales is really understanding the whole approach of, follow-up. If you're selling a big ticket item, or is there some commitment to something, or something requires a little bit of time to make a decision. It's that follow-up that really needs to be done in a timely manner, which is where tools like CRMs really, really help. I mean, it doesn't have to be super complicated. All you really need to understand is the base processes you're really trying to automate, and accountability. The big thing there is being accountable for following those people up and potentially sharing notes with your team if you work with one. Now, at the end of the day, I think, marketing strategy is something that I think would need to be updated at least once a year. If you're obviously a large enterprise and you've got a lot of change happening around, maybe it's something you should be looking at updating sooner. If you're not updated your marketing strategy, prior to COVID, chances are it's something that may have, worked really, really well over COVID, because a lot of the time, market being, I guess, overheated really engages quite well with any marketing material based on the fact that people got money to spend. But then don't expect that to keep working forever. You might have just been lucky with the whole thing. And look, if you don't know exactly what marketing strategy means, if the tips I've given you and the examples I've shared doesn't make a lot of sense, please feel free to reach out. I'd love to have a chat to you. I mean, every business is different, and I think it reflects the uniqueness of the business owner behind the business, or business owners in that particular case. I meet very unique business owners with completely different perspectives on, the whole marketing, product, and so on and so on. And I guess as a rule of thumb, if you offer an awesome service, the business often, promotes itself, because people would refer you based on the quality or the satisfaction of dealing with you. And that's it. And if you're able to obviously put together some sort of exposure or advertising around it, the whole thing works out quite well. Now, with businesses that are obviously a lot more competitive, or I guess quite new in terms of, technological approaches or solution to the problem, that's where our marketing strategy, I think, is key. So yeah, I hope this helps to, for you to clarify what marketing strategy really, does in a business, and I guess where you need to be, changing the whole thing. At the end of the day, marketing is about 3 M's. It's market, the people that you're after, it's your message, and it's the media. It's how you basically blast that message as well. And the strategy really varies based on the fact how people engage and behave with that information that they receive as well. Are they engaging with it? Are they processing it? Do they understand it? Are they taking action, or do they basically need to be massaged further or qualified to a degree as well? At the end of the day, one way or another, you end up with some sort of a funnel that you're able to take your market through, and basically end up with some prospects at the end of that, in order to then have a sales opportunity with them. That's the absolute basics of a marketing strategy that I can provide with you. I mean, you can certainly go with the whole art of war approach and basically try to position yourself in a certain way. That works very well if you understand what you're doing. If you're into brand marketing and you obviously understand the power of message or the power of the brand, that's even better. However, it's not a cookie cutter approach where you've got one particular strategy that's going to fit all the businesses in the world as well. So please make sure, if you're sort of trying to copy somebody, or if you're trying to follow someone, you understand the practicalities of using their approach in your industry as well. I quite like books by Alex Hormozi, $1 Million Leads or $1 Million Sales. He's got 2 awesome books. I highly recommend you listen to them. They're on Audible, which is my favorite platform for listening to audiobooks. And he does have a lot of interesting insights in terms of, building case studies, in terms of how he would launch a business, how he would, prospect out and stuff like that. But I guess the strategy of creating a case study and making the actual process or results relatable to the target market also works quite well as well. So like I said, strategy is very different for every business. Don't expect it to work everywhere, but try, see what you get. And if you've been able to get some awesome results out of your marketing strategy, please share. Please let us know what's worked for you, maybe in the past, or maybe in another business that you've seen as well. Because these stories, I think, is something that our listeners definitely like as well. Anyway, that's all from me today. My name is Alexei. This is Better Business Podcast. Please don't forget to share this with your friends. Would love to get more followers on our YouTube channel. seems to be the flavor of the platform in terms of everyone liking to watch and potentially interact as well. Anyway, I'll chat to you soon.